Ladies, pop the champagne and get ready to party while we effortlessly shift through money blocks and get into the full frequency of love and money. Now, here's the host of Hey Love Queen, the Love Queen herself, Kaycee Peterson.
Hey Love Queens, welcome to Hey Love Queen podcast. Today I have an amazing guest. This is going to be such a fun episode. I cannot wait for you guys to meet our guest today. So without further ado, here's our special guest.
Hi.
Hello.
How are you doing, Kaycee?
Wonderful. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
I will. Okay, my name is Iona and I am a new paradigm coach now, but for the past 10 or 15 years or so, I've been working as a costume designer, fashion designer in the UK. So yeah, that's me.
And you're so cool. Like all your fashion and all your stuff, I'm so inspired by it. Like I think that it's so like leading edge. Like honestly, I think it's so fun.
Thank you. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. And my main priority is always to have fun and to play, right?
Yeah.
It's so good.
And what got you into fashion? Let's start from the beginning. Like what got you into fashion design and all this stuff, and then we'll talk about what got you into coaching and stuff.
Cool. So what got me into fashion design? Well, my height for one thing, right? Because I'm almost 6 feet tall. And
lucky.
In Scotland, yeah, well, in Scotland in the 90s, I'm in Scotland, right? And in Scotland in the 90s, you could not get like trousers to fit or any clothes to
wow,
fit, right?
I'm sure, yeah.
So my mum taught me how to sew. My granny also taught me how to sew. And in fact, going even further back, I could sew before I could write.
That is so cool.
Yeah, I wanted to make things. There's a TV show in the UK. I don't know if it's still running. It might have ended, but it was called Blue Peter. And anyone from the UK will know what I'm talking about. Anyone from the States will be like, what the hell is she talking about? So it was like an adventure program. It was like a kind of like a reality TV show, right? But you had like four presenters, and usually like a dog, and they would like go off on adventures and try out like fun adventure stuff. And including crafting, right? And they were always making stuff. They were always making like toys out of cardboard boxes, and their whole thing was like washing up liquid bottles and sticky back plastic and cardboard boxes and like all of this stuff you could find around the house. So I was super inspired. So I just loved making things, and I also like to cut things up. In hindsight, I'd have been a hairdresser maybe, because I found a pair of scissors when I was like 3 years old and just started like cutting my hair, cutting my sister's hair.
I love that.
Cutting the curtains and the bedding, and my mum and granny were like having a freak out. They were like, oh my gosh, like she's just destroying everything. So they taught me how to sew it back together again. So I have literally been doing that for the past 15 or so, well, more than that, since I was a young girl. And I started making my own clothes. I would use anything I could get my hands on, bin bags, newspapers, like anything I could find. And I would make loads of stuff. But my favorite thing to do was to make clothing and really express myself and get dressed up and play dress up, right? You know, I used to make wigs out of wool and duct tape and just have so much fun with it. So that's how I got started.
You're so creative, and like just like you just went for it. Like you didn't care like what anyone thought. You just went for it.
Just went for it. And the amazing thing about it was that there was not very many other people who were creative in my school, and I actually, for a long time I struggled with it, but then part of me was like, this is fun, this is therapy for me, so I'm just going to keep doing it. And then later on in life, I quit school at like 15, 16, because I was failing so badly in all of my logical, critical thinking mind subjects, right? And then went to college and studied art. And then from that, I managed to get a place at university, which was awesome. And then I studied fashion design at uni. So I studied some fashion design.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
It was so fun. And then I went into the industry, I went into the old paradigm fashion industry
Okay. Yes.
in London, right? Which is
Yeah.
like, oh, it's brutal. It's really brutal.
Oh, I can't even imagine. I can't even imagine.
It was so. I mean, I got into drugs and alcohol.
Yeah.
Just a, you know, I had a
Because it was such a hard environment to succeed in.
It was insane. It was so crazy. I was working, so London is a really expensive city to live in, and I was working 5 jobs at one point just to pay my bills. I didn't have any days off for about 6 months. I was
Oh,
working
preach into the
from
choir, honey. Yeah, I get that.
totally. I was working from 6 a.m. till 1 a.m. 7 days a week, sometimes more than that.
What were your
And
jobs?
so two waitressing jobs, fashion industry job, a silver service, waitressing, and some freelance on the side as well, some freelance design. So
And
when I had weekends off, I would do the freelance work to kind of boost myself in the fashion industry and get a little bit more understanding and practice.
yeah.
It was insane.
And so you went there with your passion being fashion. Like you went there and you're like, wow, I'm in London. This is, all my dreams are going to come true. And then when you went and got those fashion jobs, they didn't pay you enough, correct? And so you had to get other jobs?
Yep, it was minimum wage.
Okay, and those didn't pay your bills. And then do you think that it was so stressful that that's why you did drugs and alcohol? And you were so young.
Yep. Well, first of all, I love to party. So
Oh, me too. I was such a party girl. Like, I can't even tell you. And like, I'm the so opposite now that it's hilarious.
yeah,
I was a party girl from like 14 to like 24, like hardcore.
that's probably about the same as me actually, yeah.
Yeah.
But to be honest with you, 14 till 34. so
Yeah.
so I would say, to answer your question, it was a mixture of low self-esteem, a mixture of like crippling anxiety,
Totally.
because of who I am. I'm, quite quiet, introverted. But of course now my confidence is shifting from all the coaching work I'm doing and the clearing work that I'm doing on myself.
Yes.
But yes, definitely the drugs and alcohol helped me cope in
Yeah.
the world, and were just a way to help me escape.
Oh, I
It
know.
was just
I get that completely.
Mhm.
Completely. I totally get it. And I think that we think it's just part of like being young and being in the scene, like is partying and stuff, but it gets taken as like, I can't survive without this lifestyle anymore. And that's when it becomes, harboring on you. Like when it's like, it's not cool to be a partier anymore, like, but you need it to like live. And that's when I got to my breaking point.
Mm. Yep, absolutely. I mean, my breaking point was in London. I broke down mentally, physically, and
Yeah.
emotionally, um, and took a drug overdose because I was done with life and everything. And I thought that I had I thought that the answer was hard work. And that's what I had been told my whole life
Yes.
by
Yes.
family, teachers, university, that just work harder, just work harder. And now I'm like,
Right.
what was I doing? Don't just
Right.
work harder. Like, that's crazy. Stop it. Stop working. So
This is
yeah.
beautiful. Yeah. And did you like when you were doing drugs and stuff, did you purposely take too much or it just got to that point?
Oh, I purposely took too much. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I get
Purposely.
that completely.
It was planned. It was planned for sure. And
Yeah.
as well, one of the things about it was after it happened and it hadn't worked, I was so angry for it not working.
Yeah, I
And
totally get this. I get this.
why didn't it work? Like, why am I still here? And then when I went home, so I moved, that was the turning point. I basically had to move home after that incident. My
Did
family
someone
were,
find you or something and like brought you to the hospital?
my flatmate,
Oh,
uh,
okay.
yep, called the police, called the cops on me.
Because you were like unconscious.
Yeah, but I didn't have to go to hospital or anything. I managed to purge everything myself,
Wow,
which
okay.
was a miracle, like actually a miracle. Like I still remember the hallucinations and stuff that I had at the time. And yeah, I didn't have to go to the hospital. I should have done. I absolutely should have gone to the hospital, but I didn't go to the hospital because of the shame that I
Oh,
felt for
yes.
doing the thing. And then, of course, when I went home, so I got brought home by my family who were really angry with me for attempting to do what I,
Did your flatmate call your parents
yes,
and said,
yeah.
"Hey, I think she needs help"?
They were just like, I think he actually was like, you need to come get her.
Oh, okay.
I can't deal with this anymore.
Did your
I
family
can't.
have any idea that you were doing any of this stuff? Like, did they know that you had a problem or anything?
He denied it, completely denied it.
You know, my
And
parents are the same way. Like, my parents like knew I had problems, like knew it, and they just were like, "Oh, she'll grow out of it. She'll grow out of it. Grow out of it." And it's like, no, like you need help, and you need people that are gonna be there for you and be like, "No, you're not okay."
yeah,
But a lot of times with your parents, if they can't help themselves, there's no way they can help you.
totally.
Yeah,
And my family has history of mental health.
mine too.
So
Mine too.
so and the thing about it was the shame. So it was
Yeah,
shame was a big thing, like not being able to talk about it to
yeah,
anyone,
totally.
just being told you're an idiot, you're selfish and all this kind of stuff, and then having to really deal with that and keep it and keep it bottled up for so long. And luckily now I've had so much opportunity to process it, and it feels so good. And I feel the best I have felt in my whole entire life, physically, mentally, emotionally. It's just awesome. It's really good.
I love this because and that's probably why me and you are friends, because we so get each other on that level. Do you know what I mean? Because I've been in those same shoes completely with alcohol, with eating disorders, with depression, like planning my suicide twice. Like I've been there like so many times. And so I get that spectrum of life that you went through. And the thing about shame is like it doesn't really exist, but we judge ourselves so harshly. And for me, I was like so scared that everyone was going to think I was a train wreck.
Mm.
Like I was so scared. And then I was like, hey, you know what? I'm not a train wreck. I'm just talking about it. Like we're all going through things. I'm willing to talk about it now because I know that I am not the only one. And there's so many people that are like, wow, like I can't believe that you're talking about this. Like I needed to hear that so that I can confront myself.
Yep, absolutely. Mm. This is passion fruit juice, by the way. Just so in my goth goblet.
I love it. That's beautiful. And like when you understand like the full spectrum of life and like what takes you to the end and like what thoughts and like all that stuff, then you get to live your best life. Like it's honestly like when you get through all of it, all the layers, it's a beautiful gift.
Absolutely. And I swear I had I don't want to say near death experience because I didn't get that far, obviously, because I'm here now, but I experienced something in those hours where I was going from conscious to unconscious to whatever. And yeah, the most amazing thing about it is that I love how your podcast is all about money and love and abundance. And the thing that I remember, the reason for doing it was, well, I had many reasons, but one of the reasons was a pile of debt, a pile of bills that I had stacked up on my floor. And I could not fathom how I was going to pay these bills, even with working, I don't know, 80 to 100 hours a week. I don't even remember. I mean, it was crazy. I was working so many hours and I still could not pay these bills. And I thought, I just saw myself in this hamster wheel, just continuing round and round and round and round, which was not sustainable at all. So that was it for me. That was like, I can't do this anymore. Like I can't take the shame of the debt and the shame of failure. And so the thing that tipped me over the edge as well was my fashion job. I had been made redundant from my fashion job. This was 2007. No, sorry, 2009. And there was the whole financial crash thing. And in London, all of the luxury, I was working for a luxury accessories designer, making handmade accessories, getting paid minimum wage. And the amazing thing about it is these accessories were going in all the major department stores, Selfridges and stuff like that. And it was really funny because that was what I was a vibrational match to at that time, because I had did not think I was good enough. I did not believe I was good enough. And I did not believe, I had a belief that I had to work hard, just work harder to get, to become successful. And it's all about the money.
It's really crazy. And the thing is, like, the more you work, the more you don't feel free, the more you don't have money, because money is freedom. It's a vibration of freedom. It's a vibration of relaxation, freedom. So the more people work, it's like the less they have. And that's how you break that, is like you have to teach people that. And that's like, and a lot of times people have to get into their breaking point and stuff, and they have to understand that, like, the people that are like working the hardest usually have the least, because they believe they will have the least. That's why it's so important to do the inner work, you know?
Yes, absolutely.
So what would you say about your, like, all your experiences stuff? Like, are you so grateful that you went through that so you could finally find the truth, or is it still kind of hard sometimes?
Oh, I'm so appreciative of that experience and those circumstances. And I now believe that we don't have to go through that to where we want to be, for sure. And that experience actually made me, or not made me, but like inspired me to start a couple of businesses. So during university, when I was studying fashion, I started a costume business for my friends, just making clothes and costumes for my actor and performer friends.
So cool.
And it was going really well before I moved to London, and I put it on pause because I thought London was the place to be in fashion and all this stuff. And when I came back to Scotland, I had that to pick up, and it was almost as if I had never left. I opened up a studio, then I opened up a second studio, making clothes for television and film, working for, and so that was one of the businesses, the costume business, which I then got hired as the UK and Scottish local seamstress for touring shows coming into the country. So I literally was on call for like superstars, basically.
That is so cool. And did they pay you more?
Yes, absolutely.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, I mean, it was technically, I was damage control, right? So whenever the crap hit the fan, they'd give me a call and be like, Iona, we need 4 of these dresses done in the next 20 minutes. So,
oh my gosh.
So I'd be like, cool, pay me, So
that's excellent. Putting you in the driver's seat.
Yeah, totally. And then my other business that I started when I got back was teaching creativity, because creativity has been my best ally. It's been my best gift and my best asset for this past, however, 35 years. And I believe that creativity is a gift, and I believe that we're all creative, right? We're all source. We create from source and flow, but a lot of people have tapped out of their creativity because they have been told by a teacher or a parent or so and so that you're not creative, you can't draw, whatever, right?
Yes.
So for the year after I moved back from London, I set up. In fact, it came about so synchronistically. I was working in a bar. I had to go back to like a few bar jobs to keep myself running and paying off the debt from London. And one of my so it's amazing because the costume stuff happened so synchronistically. Like I was working in the restaurant, and one of my waitress friends who was working in the restaurant needed her show. She was going on tour. They needed a wardrobe person. And then someone's neighbor, so-and-so's neighbor's neighbor, like it's so random and wild. And the boss from my bar I was working in had a friend who was opening up a pub in the West End of Glasgow, which is like the kind of posh part of Glasgow. And this pub was going to be kind of quirky and old school, and they wanted to run evening classes. So this boss was like, you're good at sewing, why don't you give them a shout and see if you can run an evening sewing class and they'll pay you.
Yeah,
sounds good, that sounds easy. And then 10 years later, I'm running sewing classes in one of the largest chain of pubs in Scotland, and if not the UK, teaching about I want to say like 400, I don't know, 100 to 400 people a month, maybe more, how to sew and be creative.
Oh my gosh.
And
That's
it just like,
amazing.
it was so fun. And I entered it in 2019 because it wasn't exciting anymore. And
Yeah.
I follow my highest excitements.
Oh,
So
yes.
yeah,
Yes.
totally.
This is
So
so amazing. So amazing. Like, I mean, your life totally transformed. And then I had one more question. When you got home after you had had, you know, your overdose, did you get sober and then go on, or did you have to wean off of it? Because that's, I mean, that's the hardest part. Did you have to like get into regular life, or did you go into a depression, or what happened after you got home?
well, what happened after I got home was I kind of got sober for a while,
Yeah.
and then I kind of fell back into it and got majorly depressed
Yeah. Yeah.
pretty much non-stop for until about 2 or 3 years ago. I was going through depression.
I get that.
I was taking medication for it, and having counseling. And it wasn't up until last year when I started doing this work,
Yeah.
when I
Yeah.
could like finally say goodbye to all of that stuff and start clearing emotionally,
Did
which
you
is what
figure out what was causing all the depression all along?
it was not good enough.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
Anger and disappointment,
Yes.
and fear of criticism
I
for
love
getting
I'm
wrong.
exactly the same. Exactly the same. Exactly. And so how do you live now? Like what are your like how do you feel about yourself now since you're out of it?
I I love it. I love life. Like I still have a drink occasionally, right? But I'm
Yeah.
not like crazy. Like I love to party, but I can party with my passion fruit juice or my, or my water, or whatever. And yeah, like I'm just having so much fun. So right now I am doing the coaching. So I'm working as a new paradigm coach, which so I'm bringing people into the new paradigm, and I don't need in the new paradigm, you don't need drugs and alcohol to have a good time.
Exactly.
The new paradigm is where the party's at, right?
Exactly. And then what made you want to become a facilitator?
So for the past 10, 15, 20 years, I've always really enjoyed watching other people flourish and grow. And when I was working on the film sets and television sets and things, like there's a lot of waiting about. Oh my God, there's so much waiting about. So I used to bring in like fun little stuff to make and sew. And occasionally like the actor, the director, the producer and so or somebody would see me sitting making something and they'd be like, Iona, what are you doing? And
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm just making this little, thing, this little character or something out of some felt. And I'm like, here, you do it, you try. And then I teach them how to do some stitches.
Nice.
And that, and then of course that morphed into the teaching and sewing classes in the pubs
Yeah, yeah,
across
yeah.
the UK, right? And that was exciting for me. That was so exciting watching other people, like watching someone's like, oh, I've got it.
Yeah.
I can actually do this. Like that
Yes.
is, oh my gosh, that is such an amazing feeling. And
Yes.
it's like, see, on a busy, so I used to run the classes on a Tuesday night, and one of my busiest classes, I had 40 people in the pub, right? And the reason
Yeah.
for doing it in the pub was to bring in, sewing is mostly done by women. Okay, there's a lot of guys who sew as well, but it's very much a kind of, old fashioned women's thing that we do, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And the whole idea behind it, the marketing or the thing behind it was to bring women into the bars, right? Bring women into the bars because it was very much like a man's, kind of style pub. So I would have like a sea of like 30 women and 10 guys. And as soon as the guys see the girls sewing, the guys would be like, what are they up to? And think, oh, we want to give this a go, right? So I'd have like 40 people in this pub like sewing, and I'm like running around with like fabric and thread and scissors, like, it's just the
Yes.
best feeling ever. And then looking and being like, the tunes are flowing, the beer's flowing, the chat's flowing, the food's flowing, the sewing is flowing. Like it's just
That's
so
so
much fun. And watching people come alive. Like I'm literally watching people come alive. So that was one of the reasons why I wanted to become a facilitator. Also, like I knew this work was so beneficial for myself, and I couldn't keep it to myself. No way could I keep this to myself.
Yes.
So and it's amazing. So my mentor and teacher, I was actually teaching before he actually designed the course, the facilitator's course, because has received his book and had all of the, the techniques and stuff in it.
Sure.
And it was just like, right, I'm doing this on myself, and I'm going to try this on other people. Like, I had to message him and be like, is it okay if I like practice this on other people?
Yeah.
He was like, absolutely. So yeah, that's good. It's really good.
So you really enjoy helping people. Like, that's your passion. Like, you love to like see, I mean, if it's through like sewing or facility, you love to help people, and you love to help people grow into the best version of themselves.
Yes, absolutely. We are like in the old paradigm. There's nothing wrong with the old paradigm, right? But we've kind of
And then
been,
for the viewers, will you explain old paradigm and new paradigm to them?
absolutely. So the old paradigm is basically what we have been in for, I don't know, a couple of thousand years maybe.
Absolutely.
It's lack, it is struggle, nothing is ever working out, it is being a victim of your circumstances,
Yep.
being a victim to external circumstances, your
Yep.
physical body,
Yep.
thinking that you're separate from everyone else and everything else, that everything is contractive, and there's nothing else going on. What you see is what you get.
That's right.
New paradigm is abundance, freedom, joy, following synchronicities.
Yeah.
It is the quantum realm. It's knowing and trusting and believing there's something else at play here. There's higher power, yes, but it's a mechanism. There's a mechanism involved here. Yes. Universal laws are mechanisms. And some people might call it God. Some people may believe that it's a person or a group of people. I personally just believe that it's a mechanism.
Sure.
That I'm a massive fan of quantum physics.
Yeah.
And the fact that we, as the observer, can create and change matter, like that blows my mind and is so exciting to me. So in the new paradigm, we are at one with everything. We are everything, and everything is us. And we are not a victim of our circumstances, because we can create our own reality. And life is exciting, and you can create whatever you want if you believe emotionally and vibrationally that it is possible. So that's basically what I love to do. I love to teach people about the new paradigm, and I love creativity. And I'm outsourcing to source. I'm outsourcing to source a new paradigm creative opportunity and project. I don't know what that is yet. I just love creating for myself right now. I whipped up this little number before.
Gorgeous. So cute.
I love dragonflies. And my earrings as well.
Oh my gosh, those are stunning.
They're two different. I went a bit crazy on eBay and ordered all this like luminous. I
love that.
Oh, it's so much fun. So yeah, that's what cool.
It's so beautiful. And then when did you get into law of attraction and everything? Like, when did you get down the rabbit hole?
That was when I got back from London.
And do you remember when you discovered it?
Yeah, absolutely. Again, so synchronistically. I was looking on Gumtree. So I don't know if you guys have Gumtree in America. I think it's like Craigslist.
Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah, so I was on Gumtree for a job, because they have job listings here, and I think I was looking for like waitressing jobs or something. Sure. And they had a build your CV class, a CV building class, and it was free. And I thought, do you know what, like my CV I'm done with it. I need to change it up a bit. Yeah. So I went along to this class, and it was a woman teaching. It turned out to be like a Bob Proctor class.
Nice.
Nice. And this was like completely new to me. I didn't even know this stuff had existed. But strangely enough, like it made sense to me, because I had always known that, being a creative person, I'd always known being very like in tune with nature, and I also like have been very energetically aware, I guess, since a young child. So I've always known there was something else going on, right? Or something else at play, another mechanism at play. I didn't believe it was a man up in a cloud with a pitchfork. I just believed, or whatever, right? I just knew there was something going on here, right?
Yeah.
So yeah. Then there was the woman and her best friend were running this Rob Proctor workshop, which started off as building your own CV, but then ended up to be like, you can create your own job. And I'm like, whoa, this blew my mind. So I hung around afterwards to talk to them because I was just like, give me more information. I need more information. Like, where can I find you?
Yeah.
So I added them, they added me on Facebook. We met up for coffee and stuff. And they basically told me if I enjoy Bob Proctor, then I would enjoy Abraham Hicks.
Yeah.
And all these other.
Yes.
So that was in 2010 when I moved back from London.
Wow. Yeah. And it's a trip.
Oh my God, such a trip. And do you know what though? Like it's only recently, it's only in the past year that I've realized that I love it when Abraham says just plant a happy face sticker on your petrol gauge. Like,
yeah,
I for so long was just like, I need to be more positive, or I need to just be more happy, or I need to just this, just that, or I should and I just those two damn words, So, and it wasn't until a year ago when I started practicing what I'm practicing and teaching now, was that no, like we have these negative emotions that we need to clear.
Absolutely.
Of. So
and it is okay. Like, it's okay. Like, I have been giving myself permission to feel all my feelings. I'm like, it's fine. This is part of it. This is all part of it. Like, you can feel angry as long as you want. You're like, you have to let yourself feel these things. You can't suppress them away. And that's been so liberating for me. Yes. I just don't act out of anger like I just, you know what I mean? Because I don't want to, create more contrast for myself, but I let myself feel as angry as I want for as long as I want, because it is very, like, I need to feel that thing because I need to let that layer of my soul be released and alchemized. I need to feel these things, and nothing bad's going to happen to me for feeling anger or anything like that. Like, I don't need to be scared. I need to feel these things because my emotions are my mechanisms in life.
Your guidance system. Your emotions are your guidance system. And you're so right, Kaycee. Like, old paradigm, we are taught to suppress, ignore, deny.
Yes.
And when we do express, it's very much like, like taboo.
Uncomfortable, yeah.
Yeah, totally. A new paradigm, you sit with your emotions, you feel how you want to feel, you understand that they're not dangerous or not bad, they're not going to hurt you or hurt me or anything like that.
That's right.
That they are, what's the word? They're valid and valuable, because to know what you do want, you have to know what you don't want. And
that's right.
Yeah.
And the first step in manifesting what you want is clarity. So if you have a lot of anger, you really know what you don't want. That's beautiful. You know the other end of the stick. The one thing I do is I never act out of anger because I will always regret it. And I know that. But I sit with myself and I let myself be as angry as I want, and I let it speak to me whatever it needs to say, because especially as girls too, girls I feel like are not allowed to be angry. And if a girl's angry, she's crazy. No, she's a normal person like everyone else.
Totally. It's so true. Oh man, I'm so excited. To, like, now in this moment, there has never been a better moment for us. And that's really exciting for me. In the old paradigm, yesterday and tomorrow, in the new paradigm, it's this moment right now. And the power is in the moment. And I'm excited because, well, for many reasons, but because for you, Kaycee, and for me,
yes,
there's never been a better time. There's never been a better moment. And the more we appreciate that and really milk that and enjoy that and get excited by it, then the more enjoyable moments we will get. How like mind-blowing and awesome is that?
Yeah, and it feels super safe to come out about this stuff now. Where it might have not been, in the history and the past and stuff, but it feels extremely safe now. And it feels like everyone needs to know. And even if people are to criticize this, like, any of the stuff, they're just not our audience. And that's okay, because not everyone came here to expand. And it really is okay. So it's not scary to be criticized, because no matter what you do, you are going to have both camps. Always. There's going to be people that love you and hate you. And that is just part of life. And it really is okay. It's all love.
Absolutely. Amen, sister.
And that's hard though for people like and I'm sure you feel the same way, because you were scared to be criticized. And me too. I was such a perfectionist. It wasn't even funny. And I was so scared to be criticized. And I think maybe we had to be really perfect kids for our family.
Yeah.
And I think that's why.
Totally. I'm the oldest of 3 girls.
Yeah.
So are you, what are you? Are you?
I'm the oldest as well. Yes.
Oh, love it. That's so awesome.
Yeah.
I've always, like, old paradigm, struggled with finding people who got me, right? Crazy girl, likes to make her own clothes, runs around the countryside, dressed in medieval outfits. Like, what the hell's all that about?
Yeah.
And now I'm like, yay, I found my tribe who,
yes,
it's okay if I decide to rock up to like a call in a medieval outfit, right? I'm sure you'd be like, cool outfit,
Exactly.
It's like, it makes me so excited that that in this like moment in the new paradigm, the criticism I get is not about me, right?
Yeah.
It's about how I'm making someone else feel, but that's their emotion. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm
It's
triggering.
not even your business anyways.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
If I'm triggering someone by being myself, following my highest excitement,
Yeah.
following my heart, following my bliss, having fun, feeling amazing. If that triggers someone, then whatever, like, I'm sorry, I'm not sorry. Sorry, not sorry.
Yeah, exactly. I love that. That's so perfect. That's a perfect. And then you meet me, and I think you're like the coolest person ever. Like, so it's like there's so many different spectrums. And it might just, there's so many people, like, they just might not be in your town. But it's like, if you're called to do it, you're part of the universe, and you're fulfilling and manifesting what is needed. And there's someone out there that adores that. And that's so cool.
So cool. And same goes, Kaycee. Like,
Thank you.
your warmth, kindness,
Thank you.
genuine generosity, authenticity.
Thank you.
Just so awesome to witness.
Thank you. And I just think it's the time. It's the time for, like, and me and you are like around the same age. Like, it's time for like young women to just be like, yes, we've got this. We're powerful. Like, we had to go through this. Thank God we did it, when we were younger. And then, it's time for us to, like, just really rock the rest of our life.
Yes, absolutely. I'm gonna rock it.
Yeah. It's because it is. We're so loved and we're so supported, and we embrace all of it. There's nothing in life to be scared about. Even if we're feeling those scared feelings, I think that we know we can shift out of them in like a day, a week. You know what I mean? There's nothing to be scared about.
But then also as well, like, feeling of fear, we're programmed to feel a fear. And but we've taken it way out of context.
Absolutely.
For the most trivial things, but then the body doesn't know the difference of what's real and what's imagined, right? So every time you put yourself through a stressful situation, emotionally or mentally, then you're physically putting yourself through that too. So I always say, or my kind of thoughts behind fear is, why is that? Why do you feel that way? Like, what is it that's created that? How do you feel fear? Like, how in your, what has created it? I don't like using the word why, because when we were little, I don't know if you were the same, but when I was little or younger, I was, I would do something, make a mistake, or I would, like, spill some juice on the floor, and then a parent or a teacher would be like, why did you do that? So I don't like using the word why, and everyone's all about like, oh, what's your why? And I'm like, screw the why.
And that is a good point. Like, everyone says that you need to have such a strong why or you don't get what you want. No, you can just have it.
Yeah, totally. Like,
You have to work for it.
yeah, totally. Like, your why, my why changes every freaking day, pretty much. And I get excited about different things every day.
Yeah. Yeah. We try to complicate everything. I feel like we're like, we have to have a strong why. It's like, no, this is exciting at the time, and I get to have it because I'm worthy. The end.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah. I mean, I get it in the sense of like business and entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
Why are you doing what you're doing? But I like to ask the question, like, how are you doing what you want to do? That to me feels more powerful. Like, how I'm doing what I'm doing is empowering people to come out of the old paradigm and
Yes.
into something, empowering people to who have previously been powerless to
Yeah, totally.
external and internal circumstances, and bringing them into like complete power of, oh damn, I'm a really infinitely powerful creator, and I'm here to play no matter what that play looks like. It's what I'm here for. I'm here to play and have fun. Play is so powerful. Do you remember, did you have Barbies when you were younger?
Oh yeah.
Holy, like sitting playing Barbies for like 4 hours nonstop, just talking with your Barbies, like, hey, okay, blah, blah. Right? That's so powerful. It's so powerful, right?
Yeah.
It's so powerful. And we didn't think, oh, I'm going to be judged, or I need to go and like pick up the dry cleaning, or like we were like weighed down by all of this stuff. And yeah, okay, we had our parents like running after us a little bit, but the power of play is just like so amazing. And that's, yeah, I love it so much. We came here to play, we came here to party, we came here to have fun and get into our power and shed the layers. That's what I'm here for. I'm here for that.
Yeah. And yeah, absolutely. And that gives you so much more power is when you give yourself permission to just be unapologetically you.
Yeah, totally. I did not want to be me. Like, I never wanted to be me. I tried so hard fitting in, and I sucked at fitting in. I was really bad at fitting in. I'm 6 foot tall, really skinny,
Yeah.
make my own clothes. I'm not gonna fit in, right? I used to wear like crazy makeup. I was a bit of a goth. And that was my joy, my excitement. But I would also feel like I would have the split energy. I would feel torn about my identity, because part of me really, really wanted to rebel and just be myself and do crazy stuff, like have blue spiky hair. And the other part of me was like, no one's gonna like me if I do this. I'm not gonna fit in. I'm weird. I'm all this stuff. And now I'm like, okay, that's not, I'm putting myself literally into like a husk of a human being when I do that. Oh, it's horrible. And physically, like, the keeping yourself small like that does crazy stuff to your physical body. Like,
Oh, I know.
recently going to the chiropractor, and she's like realigning me. I'm having like 3 or 4 months work of constant 2 and 3 times a week appointments to adjust my body. So much work is being done to my physical body. I've also just finished a massive detox as well, physical, like food detox, and I feel so much lighter because of all that like shame and embarrassment and judgment and fear of what other people thought, and fear of being different, and fear of not being but also like I really, really want to be myself.
Yeah.
But too shit scared to be myself, because what if I get looked at? And now, walk down today, I went to the park near my home, and I was wearing a full tracksuit that I made myself, which had like monstera leaves, like plant leaves on them.
Yeah.
My brand new beautiful Calvin Klein waterproof rain jacket that's like iridescent, so it like is super reflective and shiny, and a hat, and I looked crazy. I looked awesome.
I bet you looked awesome. Right? Yeah.
Thank you. But I mean, I got some looks. I'm like, hell yeah, you're gonna look, go and take a picture.
Yes.
Not in aggressive, but just in like a, yeah, look it up, see how, not in like an egotistical way either, just a funny, fun, genuine, like, I made these clothes myself, and
Love
it's no
this.
longer like a embarrassing thing because my legs are long. Do you know what I mean?
No, I get this completely. And I like, because me and you have both been skinny shamed, and we talked about that. And we like, I think that was part of like our journey. Like, people are going to shame you for being just you. Like, I didn't understand that forever. I used to be so like scared, and I still get skinny shamed all the time. And I could not care less. Like,
Mhm.
you know what I mean? But it's like, because it's my body.
Yes.
Like, it's so crazy. Like, that people think that they can just, you know what I mean? Like, but they just don't get it. They think that everything should be in a certain box and stuff. And it just, what that says about people is they can't accept everyone.
Mhm.
People have to be a certain way, or they are criticized, or this or that. No, there is infinite people and aliens and stuff, and everyone is valid, true, and beautiful for being unapologetically them. That's
Mhm.
all it is.
Yeah. You know that there's a I don't know if you have it in America, but in the UK we have a saying that one finger pointing that way is like three fingers pointing back this way. So when you're judging
Yeah.
somebody, you're actually like three times judging yourself. And I love that. And I keep that in my mind all the time. When I witness and observe judgment, it's like, well, that person must feel really bad about something in order for them to judge.
And I think
Or
that maybe we should address this more, because I think a lot of people are so scared of judgment. And I think me and you kind of have it under wrap. Like,
mm,
yes, it doesn't feel good to be like looked at or to be criticized for who you authentically are. But it's exactly that. That person can't accept something inside of them. And can you imagine how painful they must feel to express themselves that way? Would you agree with that?
absolutely.
Yeah. And if someone's, like you said, if someone's judging you, what are they doing to themselves?
Totally. Judger's going to judge. And if people are like, the biggest one for me was being more vocal, not vocal, but being more myself on social media, and really feeling like, because you have the eyes, but then you sometimes don't have the eyes because you could be talking into an echo chamber. What it feels like, I could be talking into an echo chamber sometimes, right?
Yeah.
And but then I'm also like aware of, like, are they looking and just not liking, or all this kind of like crazy like in your head stuff.
Yeah,
And at
yeah.
the end of the day, everything is vibration.
Yeah,
Everything is vibration.
that's right.
And you have to be a vibrational match to whatever it is you're experiencing. So sack it. Doesn't matter.
That's
Get
right.
excited, get feeling good, get feeling relaxed. Follow your impulses, follow your inspiration. Play with everything. Play with social media.
Yep.
Play with people's judgment if they're going to criticize you. I actually use an NLP technique in my work, my coaching work, where you imagine that. Well, I'll do a couple of techniques actually. This is just one of them. In Scotland, in Glasgow, we have what is called a wee roaster, right?
Okay.
A wee roaster. A roaster is like, how should I put it? Just a really annoying person,
Okay.
a roaster, like,
That does make
like,
sense, because when you roast someone, that makes
yeah,
sense. Yeah.
totally. So I call this the roaster technique.
Yeah.
It has other names, but this one works for me because when I say it to people in Glasgow, they're like, "Oh yes, a roaster." So,
Yeah.
so, so you basically give that voice like the most ridiculous, or that person. Imagine them saying that thing in the most ridiculous voice possible, like, "Oh, you like me."
Yeah.
Me, and it works a treat. Like, it's totally done. Like, and you just go from feeling like really bad and hurt to be like, shut up, like, like,
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And it's a fun technique to just like let it go. Like,
doesn't matter.
it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
At the end of the day, if you're called, you're called.
Mhm.
The universe wants to work through you. So if something is exciting, do it. Try it. See where it leads to.
Absolutely.
It's so good.
What's the worst thing that can happen?
Yes.
Literally, what's the worst
Yes.
thing that can happen? Like, if you're being creative, and you make a mistake or you mess up, you just do it again, right? Make it again or change it. So many times, I've had a penny for every time I don't know if you know what a serger is. It's a machine, a sewing machine that
Oh
cuts
yeah.
as it goes, right? I don't know how many times, if I had a penny for every time I took an arm off, took an arm off a garment on the serger, I would have a lot of pennies. I would have at least 10 pennies, maybe, I don't know. Do you know what I mean? Like, the mistakes happen, right? And I have had to go out and buy more fabric or just be like, it's a design feature.
Yes. That's what I love about fashion too, because like, okay, the stuff with like all the holes in it and the tears, that's my favorite.
Deconstructed, I believe, is
Yes.
the official term. Deconstruction. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just so cool. Like fashion is amazing. And it's so cool that because you're so good at it and you're just your creativity just leaks in everything you do. And it's so beautiful.
Practice. It really is practice. You can do anything when you put your mind put your mind to it, and it excites you. Making crazy outfits and having fun with my identity via the clothes I wear, and also causing, I don't want to say causing alarm, but creating like that's why I love costume so much. I love working in film and television and stage costume, and my favoriteest thing is music, stage costumes for like music artists, because you can have so much fun, and I like sparkle, and I love shiny, sparkly, colorful things that look amazing in a big auditorium.
Yeah.
And you can get away with it looking crazy that you wouldn't necessarily want to wear to the shops, right?
Yeah.
And believe me, I have worn a few things to the shops that have
I
been a
love
bit
that.
questionable. But you know what? Justin Bieber wore it, so why can't I?
Yeah, of course. Because we're all the same. And it's like, it's just, you can be whoever you want to be or have whatever you want to have, as long if you remove the limiting belief that you can't have it or be that person. And sometimes it doesn't come in the way that we think it is. And sometimes it takes a year, sometimes it takes 10 years. But at the end of the day, if you really want something, it's going to be there because it's your soul. And it's going to say, hey, let's try this again. Let's try this again. Is it safe to do it now? You know what I mean? It's your soul calling you.
Mm. Yes, absolutely. And your soul speaks in so many different ways.
Yeah.
My soul speaks to me through colors and textures and fabrics, and creativity.
I love
Our
that.
soul speaks to us. How does your soul speak to you, Kaycee? Do you know?
My soul speaks to me in feelings. I always feel things. And I'm a really like compassionate person. So it speaks through me like through being I have a natural like cheerleading personality, and I'm so fascinated by hearing people's stories. That's why I love my podcast so much. I love to hear people's stories so much. I'm so fascinated by why people are the way they are. I love it. And I think that I hold people with no judgment because I don't judge myself, that people feel like they can tell me. And I think it's so cool because I celebrate people, and I think that's my soul, is just to like, to like be a safe place for people to tell who they truly are and be celebrated for it. I love that. It's my highest excitement ever.
You're really, really good at it.
Thank you. I really like it. It's so fun. Like I was just thinking, I was like, you are such a cool person. Like, I mean, you already know that I think that about you, but the fact that you went through like all those struggles, and I've been there too, and like came out this insane of a person, like so cool.
We're just getting started. We're literally just getting started. And as you were saying all that, I was like, oh, make Kaycee a cheerleading outfit.
Please do.
And it's like off the chain, like glitter, and maybe like all black with some sparkle. Something that like, I don't know, something that like Beyonce or let me see,
Yes.
I don't know. So who do you really enjoy to watch? Or who, what kind of, like, is there a pop star or anyone who you kind of enjoy
I
their
love
style?
all black. Like that's my color is all black.
That's what I thought.
Who like let's see. Who is my fashion person that I look at? I'll have to think about that. But yeah, I just love all black. I love
Yep.
fashion. I think it's so amazing. Like, what was the show? Well, we talk about fashion shows all the time, but yeah, like there's so many people on there, and I love the designers that do all black. Like they're my favorite.
Yeah.
I just think it's
Totally.
so cool.
There's so many shades of black, right? There's so many different, like, and you can do so much with it. Like you can make such sculptural pieces, and like, yes, just have so much fun. And black Swarovskis, like
Yes.
jet black Swarovskis. Oh, so pretty. So
Yeah.
yeah, excellent Swarovskis.
I love it. It's so amazing. And it's like you can do like different textures, like you can do black leather, black lace, like my favorite, velvet. Yes. So cool.
Oh yes.
So cool. You're the best. So do you have any programs or anything available right now for the viewers that are watching or are interested?
Absolutely. So I run a 3-month, 12 to 14-week program to bring the client into the new paradigm in the most fun and creative and inspired way. And it's just the best thing ever. And it doesn't really matter. Well, first of all, we look at the client's goals, what they are looking for, what they want to achieve. But most importantly, we just use it as an opportunity for bringing out the highest and best self, and the best good for all. And so that is running just now. And yeah, I mean, I've got other stuff kind of ticking over. I've got a blog that I write every week all about my story in the fashion industry it's called Seamless Transformation. And it's all about my transformation from fashion industry entrepreneur to new paradigm coach.
Love that.
And that's via my website, which is just ionabarker.com/seamless transformation. But I post it on social media as well. So everyone's welcome to follow me on Instagram and Facebook and stuff like that. So yeah, that's at the moment, I'm just working on these 2 things. And the rest of the time I'm having fun being creative and possibly cooking up something in the future, fashion or sewing or creativity based. But I've outsourced that to Source along with my new Paradigm fashion brand, which I already have the name for. I'm super excited. And yeah, I'm just having fun, just having so much fun.
That's the best place to be.
Yeah, totally having fun and really enjoying inspired conversations with yourself and others.
Yeah, me too. So cool. Seriously, this was so fun. You were so amazing, and thank you for like sharing so much, because this is I can feel it. This episode is going to give so many people permission slips. I can just feel it.
Oh, for sure. Like the amount of people who have really said to me, like, wow, we didn't know, because obviously I kept everything for so long. We didn't know. And also thank you for sharing your downfalls and failures and all that stuff, because it really helped, it helps people to know that they're not alone in their own struggles, emotional struggles, and their feelings of not good enough, right? Because we are so, it's just like, it's so ingrained in our system, in our DNA, in our genetics, right, that we are not good enough, and it's total utter BS.
It is. Yes. Yeah, nothing could be further from the truth. It's cool. We came here to forget ourselves so we can remember ourselves.
Absolutely.
It's cool. Well, thank you so much. You were the best. Thank you to all our viewers. Hey, Money Babes, that's our show for today. To learn more about today's guest or any of my other material, visit lovequeen.love or find me on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at Hey Love Queen. Remember to live your best life unapologetically with love and money. I love you so, 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 so much. Ciao for now.